All right. I think we're good. Oh. Welcome to episode 83 of Kicking It with Chicken. And I'm here with West Coast's finest, Street Bender.
What up?
So, the first time on Kicking It with Chicken, here, I'm going to pull up the YouTube chat really quick just so. Guys, if you're watching and you got some questions for me or for Street Bender, just ask away and we'll answer your guys' questions. So we got fights going on tomorrow. This is going to be a big event. In fact, this might even be the biggest event we've ever had. I have over 60 people signed up. I think the West Coast gets a lot more people signing up, but we're starting to really get more popular. Like more and more people are figuring out where we're at and willing to travel to where we're at, like yourself. So anyway, we're looking at I dare to say 30 fights, but I'm hoping for 25 fights. Oh, Neptune, we got fans in the house. Bam Bam will be here tomorrow. Ordinary Pete, he's like our semi-original guy that was on Kicking It with Chicken with us. Like one of the first. We have a big community of people that tune into this thing and they're always chatting with us and they just like the whole thing. So some people are into Street Beefs for more than just the fights. That's building the community. I think it's really important.
For sure.
Okay, so I want to know, what are your thoughts on the Scrapyard, being that you just literally walked into the Scrapyard about 15 minutes ago?
I'm hyped just all around. I think it's gonna be fun tomorrow. This cage is huge and smooth. I like the whole setup, and then how everything is that you were telling me about, like just how you do the cameras and everything. I mean, a medical tent, Streetbeefs, never heard of it, unheard of. So
Safety's our priority out here, and I make sure and have plenty of water for the fighters, food, a medical tent, nurses, whole medical kits and everything. So I mean, we even have a defibrillator. We're ready to go. So, but okay, so that's your thoughts on it now. What were you kind of thinking before you got here? Like maybe just watching on YouTube. What were your thoughts prior to getting out here?
I mean, I watched on a fight. I was like, this is pretty sick, but you kind of don't know. I always was like, that cage seems pretty big, but I wonder, like, because I didn't know the dimensions and stuff, and seeing how they grind. Because I don't know why, like, a lot of people, they don't care, but all the different places I've gotten really, like, into the ground. Just, not just, like, that it's turf, which is hella sick, but just, like, the evenness and how things are. Because, I mean, I've done it where there's potholes, sand, all this stuff, but, yeah, this ground's sick. It's going to be smooth and fun.
Yeah, I mean, like Street Beefs, you really have to adapt to your settings.
Elements, yeah.
I mean, I went and I fought out in Virginia, and it was the first time that I fought, they had like sod or something. It was something weird. It was like,
yeah, it's almost like bark.
Yeah,
it was like soft bark.
Yeah, they had that stuff down, and it was wet because and there was snow on the ground.
Oh man.
So like my lungs were just dying because of the cold air, and then I wore work boots, steel toe work boots. I was just boxing.
Still, that's wild.
Like compared to just normally boxing.
Yeah, steel toes.
Right? Yeah. Like, but whatever my disadvantage is, it's like the same to my opponent. They're in mud too. So.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, I guess it could. That might actually help. I mean, the steel toe is unnecessary, but like boots for sure.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't plan on head kicking anybody that day. So.
Maybe game over.
But then the second time I fought, it was out in kind of their newer setup, because the first time it was Scarface's place, like his actual, the original backyard. And that one, man, I've seen it on YouTube and everything. And then you get there, it's just that's why I asked, like, the difference. Because you get there and it's different than what you see on YouTube.
For sure.
No matter what. I mean, you see things that you don't normally see on camera. And then you get a chance to actually see how physically big the ring is and the ground too. Like you said, that all matters. That's what you're fighting on.
Yeah.
So, what is your record in Street Beefs?
I think it's 9-2, but I did a couple like offshoots around Streetbeefs, And I can't remember if I blended it or not, but it's somewhere around there, 9-2, 8-2.
We'll figure out your real record
Yeah.
when we go to do the video editing. But yeah.
I mean,
so
I can calculate it tonight.
are both those 2 losses to the same person?
No, I have one loss to Mr. Nice Guy, and Shinigami.
Okay, so didn't you fight Shinny twice?
Yep, the first fight was a draw.
Okay.
So we did like an immediate rematch like a month later.
Gotcha. Okay, so who you only got 2 losses, but out of those 2, who was your toughest opponent?
I mean, Shinny was tough, just size advantage, and he had grappling.
He's
more
like
than me.
365, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he was like 300 and something. But he's been cutting. I'll give him that. But yeah, he's a big boy.
Hey, if you ever fight him again, I'll corner you.
Yeah. You're about to break his heart. He's gonna be freaking spamming in the chat.
I don't care. So, okay. I mean,
yeah, Mr. Nice Guy, I would say. He
Yeah.
just was like well-rounded and in crazy good shape. He trains out of Syndicate over in Vegas with like the pro fighters and stuff. So.
Okay. Is he still around Streetbeefs?
I think he shipped out somewhere. Like I don't even think he's in the country right now.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like Terrifier. He's out of the country right now.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
All
Talk
right.
about a freaking monster, Terrifier. Is freaking.
Yeah, you know what? People seem to discredit him a little bit. He does talk,
Yeah.
but he backs it up.
Yeah.
And I just don't think people realize, like, a man that size with the level of wrestling that he has, how dangerous he is.
Yeah, I know he's like on the younger side, so it's like.
Yeah, he's like, I want to say he's like 24, 23.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen him do his amateur debut, and he just bodied the guy. Guy was bigger than him too.
Oh
He
my.
picked him up off the ground, slammed him on the ground in the first, I think it was the first round, and just pounded him out like nothing. And then
That's gnarly.
he's still undefeated in amateur MMA, and he's got a belt.
Yeah, that's dope.
I mean, it's hard to deny. I mean,
Yeah.
he's only got one very questionable loss in the Scrapyard. It's because it went to a decision, and I mean, to his credit, he wasn't sure if he was fighting that day, so he might not have been prepared. And it was a really close fight. It may have went the wrong way.
Who was he fighting?
That was Brick House.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was for the kickboxing title.
Didn't he fight him again?
Yeah, this was the second time.
Oh, okay.
He knocked him out the first
Yeah,
time.
I was like, I think I saw that.
But that's the only time he's ever been like, close to getting a loss or a loss.
And Brickhouse is a freaking huge
Brickhouse is-
monster too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brick House has got some good stand-up, man.
I see them and I'm like, I gotta get out of heavyweight. I'm gonna stop eating.
But I mean, like Terrifier had to like cripple himself down. He had to go from MMA to kickboxing. So he limits himself
Right.
just so he can get more competition.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, he has that wrestling base too, so it's like a big difference. But
I honestly think the only person that would have given him a real problem in Streetbeefs would probably have been Big Smile.
I think Nasty Native's pretty damn good too.
Yeah, but Nasty Native and not dogging him or anything. I don't think his wrestling is up to the same level. So if he can keep it on his feet, I agree.
Yeah.
But I see that some of his losses have come from wrestling, submissions and slams and that kind of stuff. So I still think Nasty Nate is a badass.
Yeah.
And he's a pro
And it's
fighter
like
now.
it's hard to get. You got to be able to get to the takedown. You got to get past his hands. So.
True. Yeah.
So
I mean, I've also seen Terrifier knock people out.
that's
so.
true. That's also true.
That's a
That's
real
a fight
tough
that I
one.
would love to see though, for sure.
I just think that Big Smile's his level of grappling would really give Terrifier the most.
I could see it, but my only objection would be their grappling would kind of void each other out at the best, and then if it's just hands, like I think Terrifier he's got way better hands. I mean, nothing against Big Smile. Big Smile is a freaking monster, but I think he needs to work on his hands and footwork.
Is he pro now? I
I'm
can't
not
remember
sure.
if he actually went pro
The last I saw of anything, I think he was doing a belt amateur, but
Okay.
I can't remember.
Oh, somebody asked, before I forget. So, Street Bender's fighting the Destroyer. No, not the Destroyer.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. Those are the first two that fought each other back in the day.
Yeah. I
So
watched that.
Mad Dog, he's a Scrapyard OG. He's been here since the first event, and it's Muay Thai, and it's this one right here. Yeah. Damn Belt Company, Brigade. If you're watching, what the fuck, dude? That irritates me, man. Like I'm trying to throw money at a company, and they're just like, no thanks.
That's crazy.
I mean,
They still never reach out.
No, they did. I'm gonna have to just email them over and over again. All those belts came from them, and like when you have a certain style, I want to stick with it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So, yeah, that's really irritating to just not be able to get what I want.
Right.
Let's see here. If anybody's got any questions, like, sorry if I'm missing all your questions, but.
So what they're asking, who I'm fighting?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Oh, Lights Out's in the house. What's up? The Wall of Famer. See how many fights does Bender have in the Scrapyard?
I have none.
None.
Yeah.
This is his first time up here. Yeah.
We'll see how many I have by the end of the day.
Yeah. There's some heavyweights signed up.
Dope.
So.
Dope.
I would suggest doing more than one just because you're already here.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I felt that way about when I was in the East Coast too, especially because I did boxing first and I felt like great after. Didn't end up working out over there.
Yeah.
That's kind of been one of my goals since I started. Was like every time I'm like I want to do 2 fights. I haven't been able to do it yet. So it'd be sick
I've
to do
never
that in
done
the
that.
Scrapyard.
Oh, actually, I did.
You did?
What I'm saying. Yeah, Scarface and A-Train.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of those was a sparring match.
Right.
Surprisingly, the one that you would think wasn't, but it was A-Train wasn't the sparring match. That one, we were just.
That's the one you want.
That's the one I walked up to him ahead of time, like, we're going 100%, right? He's like, but
yeah, you want to know ahead of time. A-Train's a monster.
that one, what was crazy about that though is like he never pulled the trigger and I never pulled the trigger, so it looks just like. It looks like a sparring match.
Yeah.
And I kind of regret it because, like, I was there, but I didn't want to get, I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
With him. And what happens when you turn it up.
But you caught with something. You gotta be careful.
Plus, I was trying to manage cardio, and I don't like making excuses, but I will say the one thing that bugged me that day was the heat.
Yeah.
Because it was like 95 out, and there's these cicada bugs flying everywhere, and I've just never fought in anything that hot. And, like, I was having to sit in the car and cool down, air conditioner on. Not that affected anything like how I fought, but it was just kind of a different environment. Yeah. It should be about 75 here tomorrow.
Yeah, I was hyped in because when I was like summer, where to go for the summer, I was like Scrapyard's got to be the best spot. It's like the perfect weather during the summer.
Yeah, Ninja Steve will be there tomorrow with. Oh, nice. Ninja Steve tomorrow. Okay, Som K. Man, Som K, I want you to come out to Scrapyard.
Yeah, where you at, Som K?
Actually, a lot of you guys, I went down to the West Coast in March, and I met everybody, and everybody was super wanting to come out here. I get it; it's expensive to, plan a trip and do all that. But we're doing like a big cross branch thing. In September. So I'm just saying, like, if you're watching and you're thinking maybe you want to come out and fight, get your tickets early. Dirt cheap. I mean, compared to, if you wait like the week before. Yeah. I waited till like the week before to get my tickets to go down there, and they were expensive.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it. Do it way ahead of time.
I
like to do it, bundle everything together too. I got like ticket, there and back, hotel, and rental all together.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
You got a travel like a travel credit card?
Mm-mm.
So look into them because you can rack up points for spending. And
I have like it's a Chase Amazon credit card, and I usually use that because I get hella points. And usually you can buy stuff off Amazon and
okay.
Stuff, so.
Yeah, I got a Alaska Airlines card, and if you spend so much on it, like in the first 90 days, they give you like 70,000 miles.
Oh shit.
So
Pretty
I mean
dope.
that's
you get like a free plane ride there or what? With 70,000?
oh that's a few.
Oh, that's sick.
That's a few. Plus, anytime you spend on it, I'm like giving them a promotion here.
Yeah.
Plus, every time you
Pay
spend
him.
it, you get more points on it and stuff. But you got to figure like going to Florida is only like 3,000 miles away.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's dope.
So, but it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
doesn't.
it goes off the money. I don't know,
Okay.
whatever. But it's cool because like I can fly a partner with me for $100
Yeah,
once a year.
That's a steal.
Free baggage too. So yeah, I mean it's worth checking into.
Yeah, I
I just
definitely look at it.
started to go to all these different places. And like, man, I want to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yep. So what would you say your style is like?
Man, oh man, it's funny. I feel like it's kind of morphed over time. Because I started out just, I hit up on the group chat, West Coast, who's in my area, sparring with people. Really, all I had was high school wrestling and fights growing up. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any technique. I wasn't even like the best wrestler, but that's just what my base was. And then I started getting more into striking. I did like 6 boxing matches. I wouldn't say I'm a boxer though, because I fucking don't know how to not eat the counter every time. But most recently, because this Muay Thai fight stuff, I've been training a lot of Muay Thai. I got a coach. He's like a world Muay Thai champion, and he's definitely been just making me tight everywhere. Like, there's so much stuff. It's like I was telling him before I pulled up here that I was like, it's like I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what to work on because I have no experience in it. So I did a 6-week fight camp with him, and there were so much areas he tightened up. And anyways, that was a long way to go. I guess street fighter would be my style, but I'm very like to learn technique. It comes from my wrestling base, so I kind of pick up. I pay a lot of attention to different stances and like why you do those different stances for each style. So I'm getting more into striking for sure. And I was surprised through my fights that I have more like raw talent in that area than I thought I would.
Okay.
Because wrestling, I didn't have that. I just would get smashed, and then I just learned from technique and got better.
Yeah. I think it's just important to just keep an open mind and keep learning no matter what. Don't ever think that you know everything and that's where if you train with somebody better, you get humbled.
Yeah.
If you're constantly around somebody who can kick your ass,
Yeah.
and it's like you don't get that ego.
Yeah.
If you're just training with your buddies and stuff, and you're, coming out on top like every time, you're not getting better. You're just kind of feeding your ego.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and there was that difference this last 6 weeks, because it's out of this gym and they had some good fighters, and freaking my coach set it up to where it's like a Shark Tank. So like 5 dudes all my weight, and they're coming in every minute. So I'm doing like long rounds, and like they're just fresh, and I'm just tireder and tireder. But it was good. I was wondering though, from watching my fights, what would you have guessed my style? Like, what would you think my style was?
You know what? You have a good mix of different things. That, like you said, street, but it's more polished than street.
Right.
Like you had some training.
Yeah.
So I would say mixed. It's hard to just say it, but mixed martial artist, because you kind of have a good understanding of a little bit of everything.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going for. Just trying to be well rounded.
Yeah. And that's good. You did some wrestling too. I'm a big advocate of that. I think like anybody that has kids or whatever, or even yourself if you're younger, like get into wrestling because it's a skill that you can get for free, and you always have that over somebody that doesn't have it. Whether it's a self-defense situation or whatever, just knowing some positioning and leverage and the way that the body moves and everything. It's super important. So get into high school wrestling. Just don't worry about the singlet. Just do it.
Yeah, I before this fight camp, I actually was my local high school. I was coaching them. Shout out Mesa Verde High School, all those kids. Yeah, it was different. They did freestyle, and I was like hella overshot. I was like probably 287, something like that.
What are you at
I'm
right
at
now?
248 right now.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I grinded. I'm not playing with Mad Dog. I'm getting serious. His kicks are nasty. But yeah, I ended up entering a freestyle tournament and like doing wrestling. And one kid was like a JUCO wrestler, like junior college. Smashed me. But it was good. It was like,
dude, it's
that cardio's crazy. 2 minutes is like, it's different. I would take freaking a fight, whether it's MMA or anything, just where there's striking involved versus like 2 minutes of freestyle wrestling, it's like it's different.
Yeah, because it's constant pressure.
Yeah,
it's
and just
always
squeezing and just like the intensity is just next level.
It's so much different of a muscular workout than it is in boxing. Yeah. You know, you build yourself different for each thing. When I did MMA, so I did MMA I did it for a number of years. You know, I had amateur matches and everything, and I was really strong for my size. I mean, I was like fighting at 170, had a 355 bench press. Oh, I could just put people and put them where, you know.
They're not getting up.
Right, yeah. But my striking was ass. It just wasn't there because I didn't know how to strike yet. Yeah. And so I would just...
How old were you?
20.
Oh, okay.
20-ish, yeah.
I mean, that's what happens. You can't learn it all.
Right. Actually, that was more like 28. Yeah, what I was doing. I started training at 20. Okay. 21.
So what was did you start wrestling?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I was afraid of the singlet in high school.
Oh, man, one of those.
And I had nobody to push me.
Yeah,
if I would have had a wrestling coach or something say like, oh, I just come out to practice, you know, I probably would have done it.
It's crazy how many people that really will psych them out.
Yeah.
We try to, for Mesa, we tell them because they made a new rule where you can wear like a MMA tight dry fit shirt, and we're like, oh yeah, you could just wear that, and we get them in, and then we don't have it for our school, so like you have to wear the singlet, but they don't need to know till months in.
See, I got kids, and I had them in wrestling and everything, and you know they have the team singlet and stuff, but you can go and order your own.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so if you want to wear like what, you know, you can change things up. They're not really strict about it.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Yeah, so my base I would say was more of a jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay.
So I started.
When did you start jiu-jitsu?
2001.
How old were you?
I was 21.
Oh, okay.
And I never belted or anything. It was just pretty much no-gi jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I like no-gi better.
I do too.
I think it might be my wrestling now. I don't know.
Probably. Because you're
just
used to the grips.
You can slip out of stuff like the gi. You're just like
you're stuck.
Yeah, and I just don't know the holds. I don't know how to get people off me.
Right. But they got grip strength crazy though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just used to. I'm used to like back of the elbow, wrist control,
right, yeah.
Ankle, whatever.
You ever roll with a rock climber?
No.
Well, they have just crazy grip from all the little tiny. Yeah. They get a hold of your gi. It's over.
Yeah, I've rolled gi before with some black belts and stuff, and it's probably the same, you know, as a rock climber. You just.
I'm saying like if you want somebody that just has natural grip strength, it's like the rock climbers are.
Oh yeah. So I did that for a number of years, and I never did any tournaments. It was pretty much just MMA, and then I would do like grappling matches at some MMA shows. It's like one round, 5 minutes. And that's why we do grappling here. Is kind of my whole thing that I did back then. I just kind of brought it to here. And really quick, we got a new type of match we're doing tomorrow. Combat Jiu-Jitsu.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
Man, if you want to get in on that, it's the same. It's just jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But you can slap people in the face.
Yeah, that would be the part that's fun.
But we don't have like if you went against another heavyweight, they're gonna be like the same, you know, like maybe some high school wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, so like I could get you a good match. I want this whole thing to take off because I feel like once people see it, they're gonna be like, oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And
I think it would be sick.
We do got 2 people tomorrow that agree to do it. So, man,
what weight class?
They're like 180.
Oh, that's gonna be gnarly.
Yeah. Oh man, one guy wanted to know like, can I win by knocking my opponent out with a slap? Like, if
it's
you
ground
can,
and slaps only, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't slap on your feet.
For sure.
So, 1 5-minute round.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep. And at the last sudden death, 1 minute, we start throwing chickens in the cage.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. So let's see here.
You gotta choke out as many chickens as possible.
Right. That's the name of the game, is choke the chicken. When people go to do a grappling match against me, it's like, hey, I'm not trying to get you as much as you got to get me, because I'm the one that nobody's gotten yet. So I will give it to King Kai, our MMA champ. He had me. He had a rear naked choke on me. I peeled it off, and then I had 5 seconds left, and he locked it in. And I was just like thinking to myself at the time, like, if I go out, I go out. Yeah. I'm gonna lose either way. And in an arm bar, you know, I'm not gonna break anything. So, you know what? Let him get it. And it.
Did you know 5 seconds were left, or you just?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I heard it.
Okay,
I heard it, but
yeah.
it was lucky because that could have happened earlier.
Right. Yeah.
And I got lucky.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah.
Where it was a tight rear naked.
Oh yeah, he had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have it locked in because I was pulled down on the arm and I broke it loose. And I usually have really good rear naked choke defense, but King Kai, he's good. Yeah. So why the title here? Why do you want the title so bad?
Man, I mean, I'm kind of like, because I've just started going everywhere, so just in general, I just kind of have like a thirst for it. I did the boxing title, and I stopped fighting, gained hella weight, and just
You won the boxing title?
Yep.
Okay.
Versus Cimarron. Shout out Cimarron. I fought him twice too.
Okay.
Only dude dropped me, and he dropped me both fights. But I just got back up and outpointed him. But
okay.
Yep. So yeah. After that, I mean, because on my first fight was Shinigami, right? So it was like I started out the gate going for belts. So it's kind of like
you probably went into the fight just like don't get head kicked, don't get head kicked.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I felt like going in, I'm like, I look like off-brand detail, like you know what I mean? They're just getting another viral knockout, but I was like, nah, if anything. Because I knew he had like.
Did you know Detail?
Huh?
Did you ever meet him or anything?
Nah, I'm not like a OG like that. My first fight was Shinigami, and I think it was like it was their third event, so it's not like hella far out. But yeah, I wasn't one of the original dudes.
That happened a long ass time ago. That was when the Canadian was reffing.
Yeah, he was reffing that fight.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, yeah, I fought those 2 title fights, and then. I've always, because I just love the UFC since I was a little kid, we watch pay-per-views and stuff, so I just always was like, I'm trying to get an MMA belt, and then losing it, and MMA is an unforgiving sport, and like, even if you win, you're getting some serious injuries, so that's what kept happening to me, so I was like, alright, well, let me see about boxing, and it seemed like there might be more of a path to a title, because I was just title-oriented.
Boxing's a lot safer.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort
if
of.
you have head movement, and you're not going against a knockout artist.
Yeah. If your defense is good,
yeah,
you can be safer in boxing. But I think that MMA, there's just so much that can go wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, knee problems, everything. But
I mean, my 2 worst injuries, both my losses. So Mr. Nice Guy, I hit him with a spinning back fist. It hit right here. I still have like just a lump right here. My hand's just kind of fucked up from it. And then Shinigami, it was our second one. And he started to like turn away, and I was just like, I'm gonna kick him to the head as hard as I can, just for the highlight video. But he was like this, and when I kicked his hard hand, just hit the point of his elbow. My foot was it was like 3 times the size, and that shit took like 6-9 months to heal.
Hey, shout out Yankee and the Brit. Thank you for the super chat, guys. Appreciate you. Real Lion says he's fighting in August too, so you better win. He's gonna come back? What? I don't know who he's talking to. He might not have been talking to you.
But yeah, as far as the fight goes, I mean, I really at first was just thinking Mad Dog, because there's something of like I kind of want to just fight more of the OGs or originals, just because I was more in that era, or champions. Those are the 2 that I've kind of been going for. And then it just kind of presented itself. I didn't.
Well, you got lucky because none of these other titles I generally let people that have never fought before fight and never fought in the Scrapyard fight for a title.
Yeah. I
just have this rule that it's a 1 fight and then you can fight for it. It prevents people from coming up and then just like taking a title and then never defending it.
Right.
But with a new title, it's like, you know what, I want to fill some slots, and I mean, if you don't come back and fight within so long, I'll just put it up again.
Yeah.
But so there are slots for tomorrow. There are slots open for some of these belts. If Montu doesn't show up tomorrow for the kickboxing title, I mean, we might have a 170 kickboxing match. There's a few different ones we can do, but yeah. Okay, so would you plan on defending it?
I mean, I told you in the group chat, like, potentially, I don't, because, like, for instance, with the heavyweight boxing one, I really didn't plan to defend. I was kind of, like, done after that. But they still haven't had somebody fight for it. So
technically, yeah. Like, we have that with our 155-pound boxing. Like, we still have our original guy Golden Hands, but he's not even in our. He like left our group and everything, and
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, he
That
was
a monster.
Yeah, he was like, he's like, fuck you guys, I'm out. So, okay, fine, block me and everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's weird, man. I get blocked by. I got blocked by the African too.
Damn.
On Instagram, like both my accounts.
And
Like,
they never even say anything?
No.
There's
Well,
no
Golden
blowout?
Hands did.
Oh, okay.
I messed up. We talked, and I don't know if you realize like how many people I have to talk to on everything. You know, like I have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I might forget. That's like you said in the group chat. I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Well, I was supposed to remember to do something in a video, and I didn't do it, and so, yeah.
I think my alarm's going off with that.
Oh, okay. Guys, got any questions? Do a backflip? What?
Oh yeah,
Do a
but
backflip.
yeah. So with the defending of the belt, like I don't know, we can see what happens. I just don't think I'll be able to turn around and come back that much, just because
It's
I got a
only like
4-year-old daughter. And
Yeah, it's not too often. It would be
Yeah.
like every 4 months or something. I mean,
it costs like $12.50 for me to come out here, so I just have to like stack
you got
up
a little
and-
cheaper than me. I think between mine was like 16.
I bought it
something.
as soon as you said what's up. I instantly was like, I'm buying everything.
Yeah. That's why I don't change the dates of the fights.
Yeah,
'cause it's
I
like-
was a little sketched out because, like, you know, shit happens. Who knows? Mad Dog get hurt or, but
Yeah,
was
but
like,
I would
it's
have
gonna
given
work
you somebody else then. I would have made it right, you know.
out. Yeah, no, I got you. But honestly, I'm just as hyped to fight Mad Dog as the belt. Like, just watching his fights, seeing how things go. Like, I like that he's got that real traditional Muay Thai. Like, and I like seeing, you know, watching the Destroyer fight to his last fight. Like, he's
the progression.
yeah, it's completely 180, you know. And
Yeah.
I felt that same way about me, where it's like, okay, you came into it because you wanted to see what's up with backyard fighting. You test yourself, and then you're like, all right, well now I'm gonna like really learn. I don't know if he goes to a gym or what, but he obviously is like paying attention to technique.
Yeah. I've actually trained with him and his brother, Karate Gandalf, and those guys. I used to have a little gym, and they'd come out all the time and train. So he's he's messed me up a couple times in Muay Thai. I'm not very good at Muay Thai,
He
but
catch you with a head kick.
oh yeah, he's caught me with a head kick before. I think I'd head kicked him too, but he's taller, so he can land that quite a bit easier.
His seem a bit faster than Shinigami's. No offense, Shinigami, but
Oh, you can offend him. I don't care.
this guy.
Yeah.
The Shinigami beef.
Those head kicks only work against people who've never trained them.
Oh man. I'm gonna hear it in the group chat tonight.
I don't care. I even told him I'd fight him, and he was like, no, whatever, dude.
Oh, man.
I'm
I
I'm
to see
pretty
that.
easygoing, and I forget shit, but man, it just. All right, so who are some of your scrapyard fighters that you kind of pay attention to, or that you are maybe some of your favorites?
Favorites. I mean, you gotta go for Solo, right? Solo is just like he's like the human Bart Simpson. It's fucking amazing. I love it. So he's obviously up there. Dudes that are like, I really like. I haven't seen him lately. I don't know if maybe I've missed the fights or they haven't been coming. But all the Polynesians, like man, oh man. So is it Pony Boy, his
Yeah.
brother,
Pookie.
Oh man, those dudes are killers.
Pony Boy's been coming back, helping out and stuff. He might be
Okay.
here tomorrow,
Yeah,
but
dude, I'd love to meet him because those guys are their technique and their
Yeah.
head move. When I start seeing this, I'm like, oh god, like you just know those hammers are coming and they slip the punches with a freaking millimeter.
millisecond,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, oh man. So those are definitely up there.
I went out to Brave House one time and I trained with those guys. That was their gym.
Oh okay.
And I got a box Pony Boy. I was like,
Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
he's
You're like, we're going light, right? Like.
yeah, he's skilled, man. He's
Yeah.
definitely skilled. I hope he comes back soon. So the Polynesian guys.
Yeah, Solo. Who else? I mean, obviously it's Arm & Hammer, right?
Yeah.
The original. Freaking
3.72 second knockout
yeah,
over there.
that shit was savage. Oh yeah, that was savage. Terrifier I like a lot too. And me personally, because like I said, I like the UFC. I love the shit talk. I love his like.
You know who
Nobody
you would
can
really
beat me.
like? Cerro. He's gonna be here tomorrow, but he's a big time shit talker. He talked so much shit in a fight one time. The guy got up and left, during the fight.
I'm all right. I'm looking him up tonight.
Yeah, dude.
I love that shit.
He just won a 185-pound MMA title.
Oh man, yeah, that's sick. I gotta definitely check that out.
He's one of the newer guys. High speed. Another one that is just.
I think I have seen him.
Dude,
Savage.
he'll be here tomorrow.
Dope. Yeah.
Like his kicks, man. He came and trained with us one day, and the sound of the heavy bag. It was a long Muay Thai bag, and the sound that thing made when he kicked it. It's like, oh my god, I would not want to get kicked by one of those.
Look, I mean, obviously, Jay got him. R.I.P. Viking Warrior. I mean, honestly, I like freaking most of the dudes. I don't know if like it's calculated or you just lucked out, but it seems like you've ran into a lot of people that are just technical monsters that come out here. I don't know if it's the area. Is there a lot
Pacific
of Pacific
Northwest has. I mean, they're a big time hotspot for MMA and for talent. There's always been a big scene, and plus, I grew up in the scene. You know, like
right. So they heard of your shit and they're like, "What's up?"
More so that I just kind of know who to talk to and stuff, and like it's getting out there. It's spreading out. People are like, "Well, I want to take a fighter out there and test it out or test them out," you know, and they come out here and generally they have a good experience. So, you know, gyms do.
Right.
We're trying to make like a good name for ourselves.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes gyms give street beefs like bad rap, like they don't want their fighters doing it, but especially like how you have the Scrapyard set up, I feel like there's no difference in this and a smoker. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So
yeah.
I think it's a good
I mean,
place
I did
gyms.
smokers and
Right.
I mean, I think that my setup's better.
Yeah, and you could get a freaking name and views on here way more than whatever gym smoker you're gonna do.
Yeah.
No one's gonna see it.
Yep. I mean, the smokers I went to, they didn't even have nurses or anything.
Right.
It was just like.
Probably no one recording either.
No,
Yeah.
no. My first fight ever, it was at a bar in Tacoma. I don't know if you've ever been to Washington other than
No, this is the first time.
Tacoma's. You had to go through here to get here. But yeah, my first fight was there, and it was like just a bar.
They had like a boxing ring set up in there?
Yeah, they had a cage, Dennis Hallman's cage.
It must have been a big bar, huh?
Well, it was a small cage. It was about the same size as this. Maybe
This
a
is
little bit
considered
smaller.
a small cage?
Maybe a little bit smaller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was smaller than this for sure.
What are the dimensions of this thing?
I want to say from the corner to a corner, it's about 24. So from flat to flat, it's about 20.
Dope.
And in fact, when we built this thing, I told my sponsor to grab 10-foot panels, and he grabbed 12-foot, you know, on accident. And I'm so glad he did.
Yeah.
Because it's like if it was 10-foot panels, it would have been too small in my opinion. So yeah, but yeah, smoker shows, man. You get done. I remember I held my breath the whole fight, so.
Oh my god.
I had 4 beers sitting there that people bought me, and I'm just sitting there, the worst headache I've ever had. And it was
You're like, I need water.
Right. And it was weigh-in the same day as I fought, and I cut from 187 down to 170.
Oh my, that is not good.
No,
you shaved some time off your life.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I did. And as soon as I weighed in, I went and ate a foot-long sub.
Oh man. Before they knew anything, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Man, what did you do? Just not eat for 2 days and freaking
No.
take out all your water?
Okay. The day before, I went on a laxative.
Oh.
Yep.
I remember that in wrestling, people would do that, like in high school, because they're just, you know.
So I
Didn't wanna lose
dehydrated
the weight.
myself the day before, and then once I hit my weigh-in, then I took Pedialyte and I drank it.
Yeah, that sounds like a wrestler, like high school wrestler mentality right there. Laxatives all night, and then next day, Pedialyte right after weigh-in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, oh, I got a question for you. So, I asked this to people that come on the show. It's like, what would win in a fight? A gorilla or a bear? Okay, I have to say silverback, gorilla, and grizzly bear. Because putting those, you know, those names on the front of it tend to make a difference.
I need like a tell of the tape. Like, what size bear are we talking?
I want to know
What
just,
size
I want to know
gorilla?
I'll give you the specs on it after your thoughts. Because
Okay.
most people do it in their head without
Right,
any, without any thought. So.
Yeah. I'm taking it too serious. I guess I would lean towards a silverback, but I don't know. Grizzly might be vicious too. I just think the silverback. It's so stupid, but like the coordination of the silverback, you know what I mean? It's just, but it's not like it's a technical fight. So.
Right, they're animals.
And they're hella strong, you know.
Yeah, so I think the silverback weighs in about 350.
Okay.
Where
so and the grizzlies can go up to like 1,000. Now I'm leaning towards the grizzly.
Plus, I know I'm really selling the grizzly here, but they got claws.
That's a
on 4. Then they also have body fat, which prevents some damage. You know.
Yeah.
They're also apex predators, whereas like a silverback gorilla, you know, they're not. They intimidate, you know, they'll rip your arms off, but you know,
but you're not ripping off a grizzly's arm.
No, no. So
all right, yeah, you sold me on the grizzly. I was really easy to flip there.
I mean, once you know the stats and everything, it's really one-sided.
Yeah.
People are like, well, the silverback would climb a tree and construct a mechanism to. No, it wouldn't. It's gonna run. And honestly, the bear's going to catch it because the bears can run at 40 miles an hour. A silverback, they can run about 20. So,
all right, who's going to win a fight? A grizzly or Sasquatch?
Oh, well, Sasquatch. But they don't have claws. That's a tough one, actually.
What's the specs on a Sasquatch? Do we got to wait?
I think they can get up to like 10 feet tall. Boy, that's a tough one. That's
Stumped you, huh?
I did. Man. I'll ask him when I see him tomorrow what his stats are. I'll get measurements. I think he's got 105-inch reach.
Oh, yeah.
So you nervous at all about tomorrow?
I mean, I always get nervous right before a fight, but I don't know if there's something between like the 5th fight and the 10th fight or something, but like I don't overthink it too much. My friend that he's over off the side, freaking, it was probably a few hours before this, and we were driving. He's like, so man, how many times a day have you thought about the fight? And I was like, honestly, you mentioned it, and that was so there's something. And I mean, obviously I've been thinking about it every day for the last 6 weeks. I watched freaking all of Mad Dog's fights more times than I want to admit, but yeah, I'm kind of like locked in right now. And today I was just chilling. You know, we had to, because of the travel and everything, I had to get everything situated, so it's kind of like there's no time to think about it. But yeah, I'm not too nervous.
Do you think it's almost easier mentally to not know who your opponent is until fight day?
I lean towards the opposite, just because there's such a wide range. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't know who I'm fighting, I could be fighting, you know, Terrifier, or I could be fighting somebody that's never even fought before, you know? And honestly, like, I've been more nervous in fights where I felt like it was mismatched on the end of, like, I was better. Because there was something of, like, man, I don't want to hurt somebody. You know, it's weird to say that as a fighter, but, you know, I come here, like, sport, you know? It's fun. Yeah. So I always try to fight someone at my level or better.
What if somebody calls you out, but you know that they're not? You know that you're better.
I don't know. There's potential I could do it, you know, but honestly, the times I have been called out, like I went 619 likes to troll in the chat. And
well, say you were at an event and somebody's like, "Hey, I want to fight you today."
See, and so that's the other thing is like I really like to study people. I like to know what they're about, what their tendencies are, like, and how that matches up with mine. So I don't know. I'm more like, I would ask more questions. Just like when you asked me about the silverback and all that stuff, like, I want this fight. Before I even make a decision, I go like, okay, so what's your background? You know, have you fought before? I would watch a fight on YouTube, you know. Because I don't necessarily need a lot of time to plan, but I just like to know what I'm getting myself into. I think
maybe if it's a fighter that you know of in the West Coast or something, and they were like, yeah, you know, they just decided the event, or maybe there's no matchup for you guys, and they're like, hey, you want to run it, you know?
Well, like older street vendor would probably just be like, yeah, whatever. Now that I have a real coach and been in a real gym, I'm kind of like whatever he tells me. Like, and I've just seen the improvement and decision makings I have by like taking myself out of it and going like, because I'm really big on like just objective truth, like looking at things for what they are, taking your opinion out of it. And there's something about when you have a pro fighting coach, it's like, okay, I'm skewed by what I think about myself, how I want things to go, all this stuff. That if I have a guy that really knows the sport and all the sports, and then he can look and see more objectively, like, I don't know, I almost trust his opinion more than my own, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think if it was like, let's say tomorrow somebody did that, I would have to just talk to my coach, see what he thought.
I'm kind of like, I've been doing this for so long that, like, I'm almost confident enough that I could just be like, okay,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
like I hate to sound like it, but it's
Yeah.
like, I just have confidence in what I do, like enough to the point where I feel like they're gonna have a hard time with my style and they're not gonna be able to adapt to it quick enough.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
No, I mean, I do have like a lot of confidence in myself, but I think I've gotten to a place where I want to take calculated risks, because I know fight game's so unforgiving. You could have a great performance and still be freaking messed up after, you know. So that's why.
Yeah, the only people I've ever known that I was gonna fight ahead of time was Face, A Train, and then Black Panther here. And the Black Panther fight was I kicked myself for that one. It was like I came off that A Train fight and I did the same thing where I just didn't push it. I went out there and I fought, but it wasn't me giving everything, you know. It was just kind of trying to be too defensive and not take any risks.
Yeah. Nah, and I've done that in fights, and I definitely feel that, like, you're almost like, because in it, you're like, okay, I got to be safe, but then after, you're like, I'd almost rather go out on my shield than, like, you know, not have been like, I went for everything. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. So is there anybody that you're interested in meeting tomorrow? And I encourage pictures. Like, if I encourage getting interviews, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet everybody, honestly. Freaking Buddy V. I want to meet that dude.
He won't be here.
Oh, man. But yeah, everybody. Solo coming along?
Solo should be here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm getting a picture for sure.
He's actually
I want a
next
video.
month.
I want to hear the freaking, yeah. Like,
Oh,
I love
yeah,
that.
he will. He'll do it.
Yeah, I need it. But yeah, no, I'm hyped to meet everybody. Something I feel like people just wouldn't expect. People that don't know about Streetbeefs and like how the atmosphere is, they're like, oh, it's a bunch of backyard fighters. But like, honestly, it's been like, minus Shinigami, it's been like the least ego environment I've seen, where everybody's just like hella chill. Because everyone's like, bro, we fight. Like, there's no need to like posture or anything. Like, everyone's just hella cool and friendly. Just
Weirdly
kidding.
enough,
Just kidding, Shinigami. Like,
weirdly enough, like the people that do that the most are amateur fighters.
Yeah.
That come out.
Well, I see that in wrestling. Like, I remember in high school, but especially even the kids when I was coaching. Like, there's so much like bravado.
That's. Oh yeah. I think it's just the kind of like the community out here takes away that ego, and when somebody comes in from amateur fighting and all that, they have that ego, or they just don't know how we operate. You know, they're not used to it yet, and then they come out here a couple times. They're like, man, this is really cool. I like this environment. I like the people, and you know, hopefully they stick around. But I don't want to hold people back either.
Well, and I think there is something with the amateur too, because it's so competitive, and it's almost like the person you're fighting is faceless. You know what I mean? It's versus this. It's like all.
It's like a rank.
Yeah.
You don't care.
Yeah.
You're just trying to move up and get some exposure.
But I'm sure they're not like talking to each other in a group. They're
No.
not meeting up for sparring. You know what I mean? Versus
Or like Terrifier, who picks his opponent up from the airport and has some wine with him the night before.
Yeah.
You know, shout out DTP.
Yeah. Dude, DDP. Oh my, that's my favorite fighter right there on the West Coast. I love that dude.
Dude, DDP's awesome. And the slap boxing, the power slap thing he's got going on is badass.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Yeah, I met some really cool people down in the hot box, you know. So I had a great time. Walk Lobster, I finally met him.
Dude, another one of my favorite people. He's so sick. You got to meet Barefoot Farmer too. He's a hella cool dude. 125er, and he comes from sanctioned, and like, you know, he's a savage.
Met Wade.
Wade,
he was super cool, man.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, he was just as cool as I thought he would be.
Yeah.
Nobody down there had an attitude or anything, you know.
it's funny, like 619. I feel like he rubs some people the wrong way, but I think he's just
dude,
such a troll. It's great.
He was fine.
Yeah.
Like we hung out and stuff. Like I didn't really get to know him that well, but we went out to like Dave and Buster's, and I mean he's funny. And, yeah.
Yeah. No, they're all cool. Him and Weto's dynamic is great.
Yeah, they were together.
I love it.
Let's see, see if we got anything here. Not a lot of questions on here tonight. That's fine. That's fine. Nope.
You came pretty locked and loaded there.
Yeah, I don't know. I wrote down a couple questions.
Yeah.
That was about it. Usually I do that on my Kickin with Chickens. I don't like to I like to have something to talk about, but when I do my one upstairs, you know, I have people kind of going back and forth with me.
Right.
And so, yep. So, well, nobody. Grandmaster Swan. Yes, he will fight tomorrow. He's that's the dude with the big chest tattoo. I don't know if you've seen him or not, but he's gonna be doing that.
He's jacked.
He's like a wrestler, man. He's
Yeah,
gonna be doing
I
that.
have seen him.
Combat jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
He's going against King Kai.
Oh man.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Right.
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to shout anybody out, or anything you want to say before we kill this thing?
You know, shout out the West Coast. You know, another fighter coming out here. See what's up. Shout out everyone from the Scrapyard. Can't wait to meet you guys tomorrow. Yeah, and freaking shout out my coach. Thanks for getting me ready. Can't wait for tomorrow. Shout out Mad Dog. That's gonna be great. I don't know if he's gonna watch it or what, but I'm trying to get a face off before too. That would be sick.
Oh yeah, we can do that. I'm gonna do for the pre-matchups like this. I'm gonna do a couple special things.
Oh yeah.
So I'm always thinking of different things to do.
Yeah.
You'll see.
For sure.
So
But yeah, that's it.
shout out you guys, the fans, the
Sure.
people watching us, the community. You guys are the one. You guys matter so much to me. Like you're on here watching this, and it's not even a fight right now. So I mean, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Shout out to the OG branch. Shout out to Scarface for
starting this shit off.
starting this whole thing. I mean, what would we have right now if it wasn't for Scarface?
That's true.
Shout out Mandy Bear, my other half. You know, she tolerates this. Tolerates me. She loves this.
Yeah. This is way easier to tolerate than Firechicken.
And shout out all the fighters. Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Don't be late, or you're gonna get matched up against the Terrifier. Peace out, everybody.
He's like the boogeyman for everybody.